Okay, what's up everybody? Crimson Fox here with another deck breakdown. Today we'll be doing my Photon deck, and hopefully this video won't crash because I've been having problems this entire time. So I'm just going to try and get through this as quick as possible. I'm not going to do the side deck, I'm only going to do the extra deck. I might quickly sift through it, the side deck, but that's it. Alright, so first up, I run two Alexandrite Dragons. Pretty generic card for a lot of decks. Normal monster, 2K, level 4 light. Really good for this era of Yu-Gi-Oh! The Xyz era, I like to call it. Anyway, pretty good card. Makes the whole deck run really well. Alright, next card. Daybreaker. Alright. So, this card is good for swarming. Pretty much what he does is, when he's special summoned, you can special summon another one from your hand. And it works in a chain, so like you special summon the first one, you can special summon the second one, who special summons the third one, if you have all three in your hand. Which you can get in this deck. Other than that, he's got 1700 attack, he's level 4, which means easy Xyz, especially if you get more than one out. And he's a light monster, which fits the theme of the deck. Alright, next card. Key card of the deck, Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. Really good card. He's pretty much the Blue Eyes of this series. You can treat two 2K attack point monsters or two monsters with 2K attack to special summon this guy. And when he battles, you can banish him and the card he is battling until the end of the battle phase. Then they come back. If the monster he battled was an Xyz monster, say Utopia in this case, he gains 500 attack for each material on it. Okay, and speaking of Utopia, I want to add as a little side note. If you were to use his effect while fighting Utopia, and Utopia tried to use his effect, you could still use Galaxy Eyes' effect before Utopia's, thereby cutting off Utopia's effect. The attack still goes through, is what I'm saying, pretty much. I'm not sure if he still loses his material, which means you don't come back with as much. And by the way, that gain in attack is permanent. But I don't know if Utopia still loses his material, so you don't gain as much. But I do know it still does go through, at least according to the wiki on card rulings. Alright, next card, Honest. He's a staple in light decks. Everyone knows Honest. If you don't know it, I apologize. I'm just trying to get through this as best I can. Alright, next, Photon Cerberus. He's a pretty good Photon. He has a flaw that makes it so his effect is useless, but other than that, he's pretty good. Level 3, 1300. Kind of weak. Kind of weak for a Photon monster, but still pretty good, because when he's normal summoned, during that turn, neither player can activate traps. So you summon him when you want to go in for the kill. They set up, if you see the set card, you summon him, don't have to worry about it. Alright, next, Photon Leo. Oh, and I run two of, you guys can see, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I run two Cerberus and two Leo. And you already know about Honest. Alright, but Leo. One of my favorite Photon monsters. When he's normal summoned, you can have your opponent shuffle their entire hand back into their deck, which is pretty good. I mean, there's a slight chance they'll get a better hand than they already had, but more than likely that's not going to happen. So, it's never too wrong. Plus, he's pretty easy to get out in the deck. And he has 2K attack. Or over 2K attack. Alright, next card. Photon Lizard. Another pretty okay monster. He searches out all of my photons that are level 4 or lower, including himself. But, and that's from my deck to my hand. But you have to treat him, which means you might have to waste a summon on him, which isn't always the best tactic. But it's still pretty good. Alright, next card. Photon Sabre Tiger. Arguably the best Photon basic monster. He searches out himself within the deck when he's normal summoned. And with how certain cards work in this deck, it's not too hard to have them both out on the field. And if you only have one on the field, he loses 800 attack, which is not too good, which is why I don't like him as much, but he is a pretty good card. I will say that. Alright, last card, Photon Thrasher. And I know, he's not Sidra, but as you can see, I still run Sidra. Just want to let you guys know, I do still run Sidra. But I run Thrasher because he's easier to get out. He's easier to get out, and I'd elaborate on this more, but I'm really trying to save time, and I'm really trying to make sure that this freaking thing records properly, because it hasn't been recording all day properly. But yeah, instead of having to depend on my opponent having monsters, I just have to have no monsters and get them out. And with a 2k beater, you don't need to attack as much. You don't need to attack on the first turn. You just gotta let it sit there and wait while your opponent sets up something to try and counter it. But, you know, there's a good combo for it, and I won't do any explaining for the combos, and I apologize for that, but, you know, short on time. Heavy Storm, staple. Luminous Spark, field spell, gets my monsters an extra boost, so some that aren't suitable tributes for Galaxy Eyes become suitable tributes, like Daybreaker, and that's really it. That's really the only ones that do. Anyway, Monster Reborn, staple. Photon Lead, special summon 1 level 4 lower light monster from my hand to in face-up attack. Photon Veil, send 3 light monsters from my deck to get 3 of the same level 4 lower light monsters to my hand. So, and it's pretty good. This is a great card. That's why it's pretty much a staple in all light decks. That's why I didn't explain it much. Veil's pretty good. It allows me to get out this combo. This is what I was talking about. It combos well with him. I can get him, all 3 of them in my hand really good, and I can really fast, and I can get this out really fast. Next, Poly. Because I run Twin Photon Lizard, who summons these guys pretty much. Works really well for special summoning. Next, Bottomless Trap Hole. I do run Warning in the side deck, but mainly I run Bottomless Trap Hole because they do basically the same thing. Not a lot of decks can handle being banished. Just wanted to say that. Alright, next, 3 Call the Haunted. Staple. I run 3 because I want to. Simply because I want to. I could run 2 and make room, but, you know, it's fun. It's fun to have 3. Lumenize, pretty much another out for Honest, or another type of Honest. Only difference is it negates an attack and can only happen when my opponent attacks. Mirror Force, staple. Photon Rising Stream, basically a third Honest, but only works for him and him. Actually, it works for him, and him. And him. And him. It works for a lot of cards in the deck, is basically what I'm saying. Does the same thing as Honest does, except for only a light type dragon. Or a light dragon type. Judgment, staple. Torrential, 1 in the main, 1 in the side deck, staple. Go ahead and go to the extra deck next, and I'm not going to explain the side deck due to time. 2 Twin Photon Lizard, like I said, gets him out easier. You poly with any 2 Photon monsters, tribute him, get those 2 Photon monsters. I need, because I have easy summonable level 8s, I get a 3k beater that just blows crap up. Levier the Sea Dragon gets back stuff that gets banished. Galaxy Eyes, he's good. I'll explain him. I'll take the time to explain him. Okay, so pretty much he's 3 level 8 monsters to get out, and if one of his Xyz is a Galaxy Eyes, all face-up cards on the field lose their effects. All face-up cards, other than himself, lose their effects. That means Xyz monsters, Spell Trap, or Continuous Spell Trap, all of it. Now, of course, I don't know whether or not it's like with, what's-his-face? Great Tornado, where the halving only happens to the monsters that were up currently, but if it doesn't, it's really good. And then, of course, once per turn, you can attach 1 Xyz material from him to have all your opponent's Xyz monsters lose all their Xyz material. He gains attack times 500. He gets attack equal to the number of materials discarded by the effect times 500 and can attack that many times. So let's say your opponent has a field full of Xyz monsters with 2 each. That's 10 Xyz material. That means he gets 5,000 attack points and can attack 10 times. So that's pretty much game right there, and it's not too hard to get 3 of him out. It takes a little bit, but it's not too hard. Alright, next, Illuminate, just because he's got over 2k and has a little bit of draw power. Another random rank 8 Xyz, 2k, makes all my monsters 2k. Utopia's staple. That way you don't lose a monster. Butterfly Assassin, it's a photon monster, so it gets certain effects. I'm not entirely sure how its effect works. I don't know if it changes face up or face down, or if it could be face up, down to attack position. But pretty much what it does is I detach and exceed, select one of your monsters, switch it from defense to attack, and you lose 600 attack. Which probably means it has to be face up. Photon Streak Bouncer. Stop monsters effects, and when it does, my opponent takes 1,000. Alright, so that's the deck. Sorry it's so rushed, but I had to. I didn't want the thing to get all goofed up. And you'll probably see my cam studio in a second. Oh, that's still there. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, sorry guys. But yeah, rate, comment, subscribe, get mad at video recorders, something like that. And if you guys want to duel me on DNet, or want me to build you a deck, or want to give advice on the deck, comment or PM me. Tell me what it's about. Tell me your username if you want to duel me. All that good stuff. Just try and keep it on the down low. I'm not gonna, or try to keep it under a minimum. Don't expect me to go right ahead and duel you on DNet, because more than likely I won't. No offense to you. It's just it might not happen. All right. So that's it for me. I'll see you guys next week with another deck breakdown, because I won't be here Saturday to give you a Sonic Adventure Let's Play. I'll be at my family's house, my other family's house. That sounds kind of weird. I'm basically going to my uncle's house. So I'll see you guys later. But until then, keep being nerdy.